I'm a pimp, yeah.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of What's for Dinner. And today I'm going to show you guys how I made this luscious looking pepper steak with this mushroom cream gravy, baby. It was so good, y'all. I want to make it again and again and again. It was so good. So if you would like to see how I made this delicious looking piece of meat with this gravy, please stay tuned and I'm going to show you how I did it. So the first thing I'm doing here is just generously seasoning my steaks with some sea salt. And it doesn't matter what kind of salt you use, I promise. You need some salt. And I'm also taking some coarsely ground peppercorns. I ground these myself in a little coffee bean grinder. And you want your pepper to be pretty coarse. So I'm just pressing this into the skin all over. On both sides, honey. Make sure you get both sides, because if you don't, you nasty. So the next thing I'm doing here, I'm just taking my cast iron skillet. If you make this, you can use whatever you have. You use a little pan. It don't have to be no cast iron, I promise. I'm just seasoning my skillet with some butter, with a lot of butter, probably like 2 tablespoons of butter per steak. Now when my butter is all melted, I'm just gonna add my seasoned steaks to the pan. And we're going to cook them on both sides for about 30 seconds on each side. After that, I'm just going in with quite a few sprigs of some thyme and about 4 cloves of crushed garlic. And I'm going to let those sit on the side for a little while and kind of melt into that butter a little bit. After those herbs and garlic have had time to kind of sit in the butter and release some of their flavors, I'm just going to add them on top of the steak. And then I'm going to baste the steak with the butter while the garlic is on top. This technique is so fire. I learned this on the Tasty website. Or the Tasty, I think they have an app actually. The Tasty app is so freaking delicious. I've been making my steaks this way since I discovered that app. Like, I love this technique for preparation. Like, basting steaks in butter, period. Like, that's it. Anyways, though, y'all, after my steaks were done cooking, I just wiped the skillet down quite a bit, and I reserved some of the oil that we used to prepare the steak. I'm going to add that same oil that I reserved back into the pan, and this is going to be the base for our gravy. To this oil, I'm just adding a diced shallot and some diced mushrooms. I kind of diced these pretty coarsely. Some of them are bigger pieces, some of them are small pieces. Just chop them up however you want to do it. You can mince them, whatever you want to do. Okay? I'm just allowing my shallot to soften up quite a bit before I add my onions in. Now, why I keep calling these things onions, child? Mushrooms. It's a mushroom. Lord, forgive me, y'all. I promise it's not crack. Anywho, I'm just adding my mushrooms to my pan. And I'm going to let these soften and shrink down quite a bit before I get started on the rest of my gravy. Alright, so look. Now that my onions have softened up a little bit, I'm about to add this, garlic powder. Let me stop. I'm playing, y'all. Just going to let that garlic powder kind of meld into all of the other ingredients. And then I'm going to add a little bit more oil. Or I'm adding the rest of my oil to the pan. And I'm just going to let this cook down for a little bit more until the onions are really nice and a deep, rich brown color. Onions. Mushrooms. They're mushrooms. I'm sorry, y'all. I done recorded this voiceover about 11 times, and I keep on saying onions. Jesus, help. All right, y'all, we back. Now, here, I'm just taking about a 1/3 cup of wine. This is some dry white wine. I believe it was Pinot Grigio. I got this from Aldi, child. It'd be like $2. And I'm just adding this to my pan. And this is just going to make the sauce so rich and decadent and lovely. And after that wine cooks down, I'm just adding in some heavy cream. And this is going to help the sauce to really thicken up. After the heavy cream is added, I'm just going to incorporate it into the rest of the ingredients. Mix it all together, shake it all up, and we're going to bring it to a light simmer. You don't want to have the heat too high for this. It's not necessary to have it high. So probably on like a medium low setting would be just fine to bring this to a light simmer. And then we're going to season it up with some salt and pepper. And I also wanted to add that you do not have to add the wine. It's not necessary. I just add wine to all of my cream sauces because I'm a drunkard. LOL JK, don't tell my mom. Y'all probably think I'm a little bit off after watching this video. I'm so sorry in advance for the impression that I have left upon you if it is a negative one. However, look at the sauce because it's nice and thick and creamy. As you can see, it done got thick. It done thickened up. I added my salt and my pepper, and then I'm just going to go in with some about a handful of some Parmesan cheese just to make this sauce extra creamy, give it a little extra zhuzh, as they say. JK, I definitely used mozzarella, but you can definitely use Parmesan if that is what you have. You can use any white cheese that you have, okay? So I'm just giving that mozzarella a good old mix in into the rest of the sauce to get everything incorporated. And our sauce is pretty much done. After you add your cheese, you can turn it off, or you can really turn it off before you add your cheese because your cheese gonna melt anyway. And there you have it. You have your cream sauce. All right, y'all, now it's time for the best part. We finna get ready to eat. But first, we are going to assemble our beautiful meal and clean off the stove. We gonna wipe down this stove because you don't want to eat and your kitchen is dirty. You can't really enjoy your food and your kitchen is dirty. You know, you don't enjoy delicious food and your space is dirty. It just don't work like that. They go hand in hand, honey. You can't have no good food in your kitchen dirty. It don't work like that. I just want to take this moment to encourage everybody to clean their kitchen after they cook. Immediately after. That way you don't have to do it later. See how that works? You save time and save energy. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go and come on down from my soapbox. But you need to put some soap on your stove. Anyways, we are going to assemble this with some mashed potatoes. These are actually instant potatoes because I didn't feel like cooking no real potatoes. Don't judge me. They still came out good. I added a little garlic to them, a little pepper, and they was fire. Anyways, and I'm just adding my steak on top of that. And then I'm going to add my gravy on top of that. Then I just went in with some flat leaf parsley that I just tore by hand. I tried to make it look a little cute, you know, a little delicious, a little professional, and all of that good stuff. And yeah, this is my recipe. So here's a little cute montage for the final result for my pepper steak with the mushroom cream gravy. I hope you guys try this recipe. It is truly delicious. I kid you not. It came out so good. 10 out of 10 would recommend. And yeah, subscribe to my channel, honey. I be on here. Well, I haven't been on here. I always say I'm going to be on here and I don't be. I'm really not consistent with this at all. I'm so sorry. But whatever, subscribe.